What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment. Here's my review of Super Troopers 2. And I'm just gonna do this straight up, one take, no jump cuts, no edits. I just saw the movie last night at the screening, and I want to give this to you right away. Full disclosure, I was a huge fan of the first film. Um, it was 2001, I believe. Wow, that was a long time ago. So this is a sequel that's years in the waiting. And I mean that because whenever there's um, a Broken Lizard member doing public appearance, or if any of them was doing or promoting their other movies or other TV shows, we the fans always ask them, when are we going to get Super Troopers 2? When are we going to get Super Troopers 2? So now we finally get Super Troopers 2. And what's my verdict? I did not hate this movie, but I totally get why some would, including fans of the first film. They might despise the sequel, and I would understand why. Um, that said, let's go over the plot real quick. Well, in the first movie, if you recall, it was about these troopers, these characters. They try their best to keep their jobs. At the same time, they clash with the local police department. Remember that? And then there's a bunch of pranks and situations that happen along the way. This sequel is no different, but it's set in a bigger location because that's what you do, right? In sequels, you either add in a family member or you set the story in a bigger setting, or a global setting. In this case, there's a dispute in the US-Canada border, and these guys who by now are out of the job, they get commissioned back to being troopers again, to monitor that border area. Of course, that results in the Canadian police and the Canadian Mounties losing their jobs to the troopers. And of course, that causes tension and clash between the Canadians and the Americans, which is funny because uh, it's like an immigration joke. So now the Canada is like saying to the Americans, "They took our jobs. They took our jobs." Um, the movie Super Troopers 2 is not all around funny, so don't expect yourself to consistently roll on the floor laughing out loud till you cry hysterically. That's not going to happen here. There are some moments where you were like, what the F? All right. As a matter of fact, there are going to be a lot of WTF moments that you'll be watching in this film. Not necessarily in a Freddy got fingered kind of WTF, but WTF as in like, what? How is that funny? You think I'm supposed to laugh at that? But here's the deal. Even though the sequel follows the same kind of premise or formula as the first movie, which is, rivalry and competition, even though that's the case, usually we hate sequels that rehash what the first films did. I would not hold that against Super Troopers 2, mainly because at least the characters stay the same. They don't change anything about the characters that are played by Jay Chandrasekhar, Kevin Heffernan, Steve Lemme, Paul Soter, Eric Sohansky. I mean, Kevin Heffernan's Farva is still an asshole. That's his deal. And the Rook, he's still being called the Rook, even though he's not a Rook anymore. So that's funny. To me, that's funny. It's like, oh, the boys are back, and they're still them. And I appreciate that. There are some kind of changes in behavior because of some pills that the characters take halfway through the plot. I'm not going to reveal what that is. But it's minor changes. I think mostly it's an excuse to give some of them, including Jay Chandrasekhar, who directed this film, to give his character some, moment of himself, like a screen time or moment in the sun. Otherwise, his character would have been way, way, way back in the back seat, maybe even in the trunk behind everybody else. So That's why that's the only minor change. But everything else about them stay the same, and I like that. The bad guy is played by Rob Lowe, and of course, I'm not surprised when I hear that Rob Lowe's joining this as a potential villain in the movie. I was like, dude, Rob Lowe has played villains in so many other comedy movies over the years, and he's good at that. He likes playing douchebags. Um, and in particular, in this film, his character's hairstyle looks kind of like that lead character from Team America World Police. It's funny to me. The pranks, oh my god, there were so many pranks in this film. Oh, and they are at the expense of Canada. Uh, wow, every stereotype or stigma you have about Canada, man, they just. I know there are some pranks that are just kind of they don't really land. Um, there are some moments where you feel like they're just throwing shit against the wall, hoping it stick. Um, but man, it was just one after the next. I mean, my colleague, Jason Cordero, he's from Canada, and I have a friend, Diana, who's Canadian American. I don't know how they would feel watching Super Troopers 2. I don't know if they'd feel offended or they'd feel flattered. Um, but Canadians, the stereotype that we Americans have about Canada is that Canadians are friendly and they are apologetic and they're nice. Well, Super Troopers 2 flips that on its head. So Canadians in this film are angry and vicious and conniving and they're plotting. Um, so yes, I think that is one of the funny moments in the movie, in my opinion. So to conclude this review, I'm glad the boys are back. Right? It's been what 17 years. I mean, when the first movie came out, freaking Facebook, YouTube, not even Friendster and MySpace were around. Um, I mean, part of me kind of wishes, there were some elements of today's social media that could be played into or incorporated into the plot of Super Troopers 2, but they didn't. Um, Another criticism that I have is the climactic moment against the bad guys at the end was a bit underwhelming. I mean, you build this up, right, leading up to this moment, and that's all they've got. I feel it's not well choreographed. I feel that scene is just a bit lazy in my book. So yeah, the ending is just not the right tone, or you're hoping or you're expecting something more. Um, but again, the boys are back. I'm glad the boys are stay the same. I'm glad they're pranking each other. Here's my conclusion: if you like Jackass series, if you like Jackass movies, Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O kicking each other in the nuts, then you will love Super Troopers 2, because everything about Super Troopers 2 speaks to the fans of Jackass. That's basically it. Um, so you keep that in mind when you watch this movie, all right? Because if you're not cracking up, then you're probably not cracking up at the Jackass movies as well. And you know what kind of comedy that you'll find funny, and this is probably not it. That's it. That's my review of Super Troopers 2. Share your thoughts in the comment section below and share this video with all your friends on the YouTube verse. And as always, subscribe to my channel. And again, if you can consider throwing me a few bucks to help support this channel, please do so on Patreon. Excuse me. At patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Sign up there today and become my patrons. Let's rock this.